Good evening, everyone. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, if you chase something too hard, it runs away faster? It's one of those timeless truths that seems to apply to many aspects of life, careers, dreams, and yes, relationships. Tonight, we're diving into something that might feel both thrilling and a little nerve-wracking. Understanding how to create attraction in such a way that the effort starts coming toward you, not away. When we talk about being authentic, we're diving into something much deeper than just being yourself. It's about owning every aspect of who you are, the good, the messy, and everything in between, and not shying away from showing it to the world. Think about it. How often do we hide parts of ourselves because we're afraid of what others might think? Maybe it's a quirky habit, a passion we think others won't understand, or even our vulnerabilities. But the truth is, the very things we're tempted to conceal are often the things that make us magnetic. Being unapologetically authentic starts with self-awareness. You need to know who you are before you can show the world. What lights you up? What values do you stand for? What are your quirks and how do they make you unique? This isn't about fitting into a mold or pretending to be the person you think someone else wants. It's about breaking free from those molds altogether and embracing your individuality with confidence. One of the most powerful things about authenticity is that it creates trust. When you're real with someone, you give them permission to be real with you. You create a space where vulnerability isn't a weakness, but a bridge to connection. Think about the people in your life you're drawn to. Chances are they're the ones who are genuine, the ones who don't feel the need to put on a facade or hide behind an image or experience. Their authenticity makes you feel safe and seen, and that's incredibly attractive. Authenticity also has a way of filtering out what isn't meant for you. When you're true to yourself, the people who resonate with you will naturally gravitate toward you. And yes, some people may not connect with your authenticity, but that's okay. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone, it's to attract the right people, the ones who appreciate and value you for who you really are. Now, let's talk about courage, because authenticity isn't always easy. It takes courage to show up as your true self, especially in a world that often rewards conformity. You might feel tempted to downplay your interests or opinions to fit in, but in doing so, you diminish your light. Authenticity requires standing tall, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's saying, this is who I am and I'm proud of it, even if you're worried about judgment. So here's the thing, people are naturally drawn to confidence, and there's no greater confidence than the kind that comes from self-acceptance. When you're unapologetically authentic, you send a powerful message. I don't need to be anyone but myself, and I'm not afraid to be seen. That kind of energy is contagious. It inspires others and makes you magnetic in ways you can't fake. Think about how this applies to relationships. When you're authentic, you're not playing games or putting up a front to impress someone. You're simply showing them who you are. And that honesty is refreshing. It's a rare quality, and it's one that people deeply crave, especially in a world that's often full of pretense. Of course, authenticity doesn't mean being perfect. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about embracing your imperfections and realizing they're a part of what makes you human. Maybe you're not great at remembering names, or you have a laugh that's a little louder than most. Whatever it is, own it. Those quirks are what make you memorable and real. At the end of the day, authenticity is about freedom. It's about freeing yourself from the pressure to be someone you're not and allowing yourself to just be. And when you live with that kind of freedom, People notice, they're drawn to it because deep down we all want the same thing, to be accepted and loved for who we truly are. So stop worrying about how you're perceived or whether you measure up to someone else's expectations. Start focusing on the one thing that really matters, being true to yourself. Because when you show up authentically, you don't just attract others, you inspire them to be authentic too. And that's where real connections begin. Cultivating self-worth is not just about feeling good about yourself. It's about fundamentally understanding your value and living in alignment with that understanding. It starts with recognizing that your worth is intrinsic. It's not tied to external achievements, other people's opinions, or even your failures. Your worth isn't something you have to earn. It's something you already possess by virtue of being you. This understanding is the foundation upon which confidence, resilience, and genuine connection are built. One of the most important aspects of cultivating self-worth is developing a strong sense of identity. Too often, we allow the opinions and expectations of others to shape how we see ourselves. But when you tie your sense of value to external validation, whether it's compliments, social status, or relationships, you place your self-esteem on shaky ground. If those external sources disappear, so does your confidence. Starting where you are to go forward is a very painful process, but when you take a moment to define your own value, that's why building self-worth requires turning inward and asking the tough questions. Who am I when no one else is watching? What do I stand for? What brings me joy? What gives me purpose? And the more we transfocus our efforts into those areas, the better we get at diagnosing and treating our own self-injury, and the more we get at diagnosing and treating our own self-loving. To cultivate self-worth, it's essential to focus on the things that give your life meaning, pursue your passions, invest in your talents, and set goals that challenge and inspire you. When you dedicate yourself to personal growth, you send a powerful message to yourself. I matter, and my dreams are worth pursuing. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's about honoring your potential and embracing the journey of becoming the best version of yourself. And self-worth also comes from understanding and honoring your boundaries. Too often, people with a shaky sense of self-worth find themselves saying yes to things they don't want to do or tolerating behaviors that make them uncomfortable, all in an effort to avoid conflict or gain approval. But every time you compromise your boundaries, you send a signal to yourself and to others that your feelings and needs are less important than theirs. To truly value yourself, you must be willing to stand firm in your boundaries, even when it's difficult. It's not about being rigid or selfish. It's about respecting yourself enough to prioritize your well-being. Another key to cultivating self-worth is learning to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes, experience setbacks, and sometimes fall short of our own expectations. But these moments don't define your value. In fact, they're often where the most growth happens. Instead of beating yourself up or dwelling on what went wrong, practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a close friend. Remember, your worth isn't diminished by your imperfections. It's enriched by your ability to learn and grow from them. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you is another critical component. Relationships have a profound impact on how we see ourselves. And if you're constantly surrounded by negativity or people who undermine your value, it becomes harder to maintain a healthy sense of self-worth. Choose to spend time with those who see your strengths, celebrate your victories, and support you through challenges. At the same time, be mindful of the energy you bring to your relationships. When you value yourself, you're better able to offer genuine love and support to others, creating connections that are both uplifting and reciprocal. So if you're overwhelmed and depleted, most likely the people in your life will be. Cultivating self-worth also means letting go of the need for comparison. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring yourself against others, especially in a world dominated by social media where everyone's successes are on display. But comparison is a losing game. It shifts your focus away from your unique strengths and accomplishments and creates feelings of inadequacy. Instead, remind yourself that your journey is your own. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Lastly, cultivating self-worth requires consistent action. It's not a one-time realization or a destination you arrive at. It's a daily practice. It's in the choices you make, the thoughts you allow yourself to believe, and the way you show up in your life. Every time you choose to honor your needs, pursue your goals, or treat yourself with kindness, you're reinforcing your sense of self-worth. And over time, those choices add up, creating a solid foundation of confidence and self-respect. Ultimately, when you cultivate self-worth, you radiate an energy that's impossible to ignore. You carry yourself with confidence, not arrogance, and others can sense that you know your value. This doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you more grounded, resilient, and capable of building relationships that are meaningful and fulfilling. Self-worth isn't just about feeling good about yourself, it's about knowing deep down that you are enough just as you are. And when you truly believe that, it changes everything. Showing emotional intelligence is one of the most powerful ways to connect with someone on a deeper level. It's not just about being kind or polite, it's about understanding and managing both your own emotions and the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence allows you to navigate interactions with empathy, awareness, and thoughtfulness, creating an environment where meaningful connection can flourish. At its core, emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. This means recognizing your own emotions as they arise and understanding how they influence your thoughts and behaviors. For example, if you're feeling frustrated, self-awareness allows you to step back and identify the source of that frustration instead of letting it dictate your actions. In relationships, this awareness is crucial because it helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It also sets the stage for authentic communication, as you can express your feelings clearly and honestly without projecting them onto others. Once you've cultivated self-awareness, the next step is self-regulation, the ability to manage your emotions effectively. This doesn't mean suppressing how you feel. It means responding in a way that aligns with your values and intentions. For instance, if a situation makes you angry, emotional intelligence allows you to pause, take a deep breath, and choose a constructive response rather than lashing out. Self-regulation demonstrates maturity and stability, qualities that are incredibly attractive and reassuring in any relationship. Empathy is another cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand their perspective, even if it differs from your own. Empathy goes beyond simply listening to someone's words. It involves tuning in to their nonverbal cues, such as tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language, to gain a deeper understanding of how they feel. When you show an empathy, you create a safe space for others to open up and feel seen, heard, and valued. This kind of connection fosters trust and intimacy, which are essential for any meaningful relationship. Active listening is a practical way to demonstrate empathy and emotional intelligence. This means fully focusing on the other person when they're speaking, rather than thinking about what you're going to say next or letting your mind wander. Active listening involves nodding, maintaining eye contact, and responding with thoughtful questions or comments that show you're genuinely engaged. It's about being present in the moment and making the other person feel like they're your priority. When someone feels truly listened to, it deepens the connection and builds mutual respect. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is social awareness, understanding the dynamics of a situation and how your actions affect others. Social awareness requires you to be attuned to the emotional atmosphere of a conversation and adjust your approach accordingly. For example, if someone seems upset or withdrawn, emotional intelligence helps you pick up on those cues and respond with sensitivity. It is about being mindful of the energy you bring into interactions and striving to create harmony rather than conflict. So just knowing, though showing emotional intelligence also means being open to feedback and willing to take responsibility for your actions. No one is perfect, and misunderstandings or mistakes are inevitable in any relationship. But what sets emotionally intelligent people apart is their ability to own up to their missteps without becoming defensive or shifting blame. When you apologize sincerely and make an effort to learn from your mistakes, it shows humility and a commitment to growth. This not only strengthens your character, but also deepens trust in your relationships. Another important element is the ability to balance emotions with logic. Emotional intelligence doesn't mean ignoring rationality or making decisions solely based on feelings. Instead, it's about integrating both emotional and logical perspectives to arrive at thoughtful, balanced choices. For example, if you're in a disagreement, emotional intelligence allows you to acknowledge and validate the other person's feelings while also calmly presenting your own perspective. This balanced approach fosters mutual understanding and helps resolve conflicts in a constructive way. In addition to fostering connection with others, emotional intelligence also enhances your self-confidence. When you understand your emotions and can navigate relationships effectively, you naturally feel more grounded and secure in yourself. This self-assuredness is incredibly attractive as it signals to others that you're someone who can handle challenges with grace and composure. It also creates a sense of emotional stability, which is essential for building trust and intimacy. Ultimately, showing emotional intelligence is about being intentional in your interactions. It's about approaching relationships with curiosity, empathy, and a genuine desire to connect. When you demonstrate emotional intelligence, you create an atmosphere where people feel safe to be themselves, which leads to deeper, more authentic connections. It's not just a skill. It's a way of being that elevates every aspect of your relationships and leaves a lasting impression on those around you. Being a high-value person is not about wealth, status, or outward success. It's about embodying qualities that make you stand out as someone who is confident, self-respecting, and deeply rooted in your principles. It's about the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring to your interactions, and the value you add to the lives of those around you. Becoming a high-value person starts with the understanding that your worth is intrinsic, but it's amplified by the effort you put into your personal growth, integrity, and relationships. At the core of being a high-value person is living with purpose. This means having goals, passions, and a sense of direction in your life. When you're driven by purpose, you exude an energy that is magnetic. It's not about being perfect or achieving every goal flawlessly. It's about waking up each day with a clear sense of what you're working toward and why it matters. Purpose gives you a reason to keep growing, learning, and contributing, and that kind of drive is inspiring to others. It shows that you're not stagnant, you're evolving, and that evolution makes you compelling. High-value people also prioritize self-respect. They understand the importance of setting boundaries and protecting their emotional and physical well-being. Self-respect isn't about being rigid or unapproachable. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to tolerate behaviors or situations that undermine it. For example, a high-value person won't stay in a toxic relationship or compromise their values to fit in. Instead, they stand firm in their principles and make decisions that align with their long-term happiness and growth. This level of self-respect not only enhances your own life, but also commands respect from others. Eradicate prejudice. Projecting a standard that is wide enough to ensure each person's creative development and growth is recognized. Another hallmark of a high-value person is emotional maturity. This means taking responsibility for your actions, managing your emotions effectively, and approaching conflicts with a calm and constructive mindset. Emotional maturity isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about expressing your emotions in a way that fosters understanding and resolution. It's about being able to apologize when you're wrong, forgive when necessary, and navigate challenges with grace. When you demonstrate emotional maturity, you show others that you're reliable and capable of handling the complexities of life, which makes you an invaluable presence in any relationship. Integrity is another key aspect of being a high-value person. Integrity means aligning your actions with your words and standing by your principles, even when it's difficult. High-value people don't make promises they can't keep or compromise their values for short-term gain. They operate with honesty and transparency, which builds trust and respect in their relationships. When people know that they can count on you to do what's right, even when no one is watching, they see you as someone of true value. A high-value person also knows how to give without expecting anything in return. This doesn't mean being a pushover or sacrificing your own needs. It means approaching relationships with generosity and a spirit of contribution. Whether it's offering your time, sharing your knowledge, or simply being a source of support, giving selflessly shows that you care about others and want to see them thrive. It creates a sense of abundance and goodwill, which naturally attracts positivity into your life. And really, like we talked about, when you shift your mental focus outside of yourself, it literally changes. Confidence is another defining trait of high-value people. But this isn't about arrogance or needing to be the center of attention. True confidence comes from self-awareness and self-acceptance. It's about knowing who you are, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and not seeking validation from others. Confidence allows you to walk into any room with your head held high, not because you think you're better than anyone else, but because you're secure in your own skin. This quiet, grounded confidence is incredibly attractive and sets you apart as someone worth knowing. High-value people also invest in continuous growth. They understand that life is a journey of learning and improvement, and they're always seeking ways to expand their knowledge, skills, and perspectives. Whether it's reading, taking courses, traveling, or simply engaging in meaningful conversations, high-value individuals are committed to becoming the best versions of themselves. This commitment to growth not only enriches their own lives, but also inspires those around them to aim higher and strive for more. Another crucial aspect is resilience. High-value people know that setbacks and failures are inevitable, but they don't let those moments define them. Instead, they use challenges as opportunities to learn and grow stronger. They have the mental and emotional fortitude to keep moving forward, even when the road is tough. This resilience not only helps them achieve their goals, but also makes them a source of strength and inspiration for others. Lastly, being a high-value person means valuing others. It's about treating people with kindness, respect, and empathy. High-value individuals uplift those around them, recognizing the worth of others and celebrating their successes. They don't feel the need to compete or diminish anyone else's light because they're secure in their own. This ability to uplift and connect creates strong, meaningful relationships that are built on mutual respect and admiration. In essence, being a high-value person isn't about what you have. It's about who you are. It's about living authentically, striving for growth, and showing up as someone who brings value to every situation. When you embody these qualities, you not only enhance your own life, but also inspire those around you. And in doing so, you naturally attract people who see and appreciate your worth. Showing appreciation without crossing into neediness is a delicate but essential skill in building strong, healthy relationships. At its heart, appreciation is about recognizing and valuing the qualities, efforts, and presence of another person. It's a way of expressing gratitude and admiration without placing undue expectations or emotional weight on the other person. When done authentically, showing appreciation fosters mutual respect and connection. On the other hand, neediness can push people away as it often conveys insecurity and an over-reliance on someone else for validation or happiness. Striking the right balance is key to creating relationships that are fulfilling and grounded in mutual respect. And the reason for that is that if you don't have a way to find joy or truly understand your definition of happiness, then respect for other people will adapt within the relationship to include a relationship that earnestly serves. Appreciation begins with the genuine acknowledgement of what the other person brings to your life. It could be their kindness, humor, intelligence, or even the small gestures they make, like remembering your favorite coffee order or checking in on you after a tough day. When you take the time to notice and vocalize these things, you communicate that you see and value them as an individual. This isn't about flattery or saying what you think they want to hear. It's about being present and mindful of the positive impact they have on your life. However, showing appreciation also means maintaining your sense of independence and self-worth. It's about saying, I value you without implying, I can't be happy without you. When appreciation becomes tied to neediness, it shifts from being a gift to being a demand. For example, constantly seeking reassurance, over-apologizing, or expressing fear of losing the other person can make them feel pressured or overwhelmed. These behaviors can signal that you're looking to them to fill a void or provide validation that you should be cultivating within yourself. A crucial aspect of showing appreciation without neediness is understanding that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and reciprocity, not dependency. This means recognizing that the other person is a complement to your life, not the sole source of your happiness or sense of worth. When you appreciate someone without expecting them to complete you, it creates space for a balanced and equal partnership. You're not asking them to carry the weight of your emotional well-being. Instead, you're inviting them to share in your journey as two whole individuals, and so that they can help you see those little gaps of growth or those little gaps of skills that you might. Another way to express appreciation is through thoughtful actions rather than constant verbal affirmations. Words are powerful, but actions often speak louder. A sincere thank you paired with a meaningful gesture like doing something thoughtful for them, supporting their goals, or simply being present when they need someone can convey your appreciation more deeply than words alone. When your actions align with your words, it shows that your gratitude is genuine and that you value the relationship enough to invest your time and energy into it. Practicing emotional stability is also essential when showing appreciation. Emotional stability means being able to express your feelings without overwhelming the other person or creating a dynamic of dependence. For instance, instead of saying, "I don't know what I'd do without you," which can sound